The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines the word courage this way: mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. Tonight, the YMCA Salute to Courage program is proud to honor a person of great courage, Peggy Plonka. Those who know her best describe Peggy as a person that deeply loves life, family, work, and community, always with a smile on her face.
There were 5 sisters and 1 brother, siblings of Mary and Alec Tomensky, and Peggy, of course, is the baby of the family.
Peggy and her husband Lee raised 3 children. She is the grandmother of 3, maternal aunt of 12, friends to hundreds. She is the youngest of 5 siblings. As a wife, mother, homemaker, and friend, she has always been very supportive of her children and their activities.
From the time I was 5 years old up through college, my mom never missed an event. Knitted an Afghan watching me play basketball because I played JV and varsity.
I've seen a lot of parents struggle with fewer kids, and I really don't ever remember there being much struggle on my mother's end. It just was sort of very natural flow.
I have lived with my grandmother for 12 years, walking in her footsteps of life. She gave me a home and a wonderful life. My grandmother has always been there for me. By teaching me right from wrong, she taught me about God and Christianity. She sent me to a Catholic school so I would be able to learn about God and my faith.
She's helped us along our journey through life, and it's really special because I always get to be with her, and I just know that she's always there for me, and I love her very much.
And she always has something good to say about everybody. I always joke that somebody can go out in the street and murder 25 people with a machine gun, and my wife would say, well, maybe he had a bad day.
Peggy's professional life revolved around giving to others. For 20 years, she worked at St. Francis Hospital, including time as the hospital's foundation coordinator.
Well, I first met Peggy when I came to work at St. Francis Hospital of Newcastle, and I always thought it was just so fitting that she worked there because you can just see the spirit of St. Francis and Peggy and all that she did.
I felt very, very close to the hospital. I once actually visited Assisi in Rome. A friend and I went, and I got to go to Assisi and walk the same trail that St. Francis walked. St. Francis was close to me before I was ever hired at St. Francis Hospital. Maybe because of the nature he liked and because I like nature. The birds, the flowers, I find very calming and very interesting, and that's how he felt. Not that I would be in any comparison to him, but we had a lot in common, let's just say.
Peggy organized the St. Francis Healthcare System 5K run, and it quickly became the largest such event in Lawrence County.
Peggy has had her share of struggling and embracing life's journeys. And we're all here to help one another as together we carry out what each one of us is being asked to do. And sometimes we don't know why the things that we're being asked to do are upon us, but certainly Peggy doesn't even question that, she just accepts it. And I think for me, that has been a wonderful, wonderful gift. And maybe this is the opportunity to say publicly, thank you, Peggy.
She's always been in service to others and always honoring other people.
She actually started the very first Salute to Courage dinner at St. Francis Hospital in Newcastle. So it's with even deeper meaning tonight that Peggy receives this award after so freely giving it to others for so many years.
Peggy has always enjoyed cooking, and the consensus is she's a great cook, with one possible exception.
We grew up with her Cooking lots of food. The one thing I remember is she would make homemade bread and that stupid natural peanut butter that she made us eat with the oil on top that I couldn't stand.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad, so...
Homemade bread was good.
Homemade bread was good, but
It's a lot of work. I still can't understand putting all that work into a loaf of bread.
My wife's a very good cook, very good cook. Her pie crusts are the best in the entire world.
When my husband was ill, I'll never forget when she said to him, "What would you like the most, Gaylord?" And he said, "An apple pie." And didn't she make that Macintosh apple pie, which he loved?
Tell everybody, what's the favorite thing Grandma makes for you?
Cooking.
Cookies. What kind of cookies?
Chocolate chip cookies.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Her chocolate chip cookies, and she always helped, and I always get to roll pigs in the blanket.
And you can see by the size of me that she's a very excellent cook.
While working at St. Francis Hospital, Peggy delivered an inspiring, almost foreshadowing commencement address to students of St. Francis Hospital.
The theme of her commencement address to all the students that were graduating was that the race in life is never really over. There is no real finish line, because as you change and as your life progresses, there's always going to be something new that comes to you that makes you seek out the finish.
In 1975, while playing tennis, Peggy jumped the net and suffered a serious knee injury.
Smashed the top part of her bottom leg bone into a million little pieces, and they said they put it together like a puzzle.
I wish we would have the screw, but the screw is this big that was in her knee, that held her knee together.
The doctor said she may never walk again.
I thought, he's not going to tell me that I'm never going to walk right again.
With courage and determination, Peggy persevered.
I was on crutches. I learned to go up and down steps while I was in that cast. It was, like you said, a full cast. And I remember my neighbors were all cheering for me the day that I was able to walk, because it was so long that I had that cast on.
Never allowing the knee injury to stop her, Peggy began running in 1979 at the YMCA. Running wasn't a passing fad for Peggy. She set high goals. The mental and physical strength required to train and run for a marathon is enormous. But Peggy wasn't content finishing one marathon. She will go on to complete 13 marathons, 3 in Boston, which requires qualifying times to compete. In 1989, at the age of 44, Peggy finished the Pittsburgh Marathon in 3 hours, 45 minutes, 45 seconds, the top female finisher from Lawrence County. But marathons weren't enough. Peggy sought even greater challenges, completing 2 50-mile runs. 3 times she braved the thin air, high altitude, and rugged terrain to run 13 miles to the summit of Pikes Peak in Colorado. The 3rd time came in 1996 after being diagnosed with MS. These events are extremely physically and emotionally demanding. The 50-mile runs took more than 13 hours to complete. Peggy finished. Peggy became a founding member of the Second Wind Running Club and served as president for 2 years. Peggy shared her love for running and fitness with all those around her. Her niece followed in her footsteps, and in 1999 ran and finished the Pittsburgh Marathon.
For inspiration, I had put a tag on the back of my race number that was from Isaiah, that was, and they will rise up with wings like eagles, that they would walk and not get tired, and they would run and not become weary. And that became very inspirational to me.
Peggy's biggest challenge would come in 1996 when she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, a chronic, often disabling disease that randomly attacks the central nervous system. Peggy never lost faith. In 1999, at the age of 55, 3 years after being diagnosed with MS, Peggy set her sights again on Pikes Peak. Against the advice of her doctors, with characteristic courage and determination, Peggy reached the top. Through running and Second Wind, Peggy forged cooperative efforts with Special Olympics, American Red Cross, American Cancer Society, Women's Olympic Trials, the Spina Bifida, and autism organizations, as well as others. she pursued ways to show children the benefits of running and physical fitness. Longtime friend Nancy Flannery.
If God put angels here on earth, surely Peggy Plonka is one of them. Before I met Peggy, her name to me was synonymous with the Second Wind Running Club. As a special tribute to her, I nominated her for the Olympic torch bearer in Pittsburgh in the year 2001. I was limited to only 100 words, and that's not easy to do when you're talking about a person with so many positive attributes.
This led to the highlight of Peggy's running career, being selected as a support runner in the cross-country torch run for the 2002 Winter Olympics.
She's worn many hats. She's, a running hat, a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a worker, and she still works hard. She loves to bake. She loves to berry pick.
Peggy's courage is actually goes beyond description.
And she has been just such a very, very courageous person. She never backs down.
And she always has had a very positive outlook on life. And it's amazing to me that with this MS that she can just smile through the whole ordeal.
Over time, MS has made it more difficult for Peggy to get around. Today, nearly 10 years after her diagnosis, she continues to be active and do things she loves to do. She no longer runs marathons, but her spirit is unwavering. Her positive attitude inspires all those around her.
But I think for a lot of people that she is truly a hero.
And it's like she'll just never stop winning races, no matter what the race is.
Mom and Daddy up in heaven are surely looking down upon you, Peggy, and I feel it, and I know I can feel them here with us tonight. You've made them very proud of you, Peggy.
Peggy has an enormous amount of love, and I could never find a better friend. She will always be my best friend. I love her.
When each of us embraces what life has to offer, and namely for Peggy, was it the love of St. Francis Health System, her love of running, her love of her friends, her neighbors, her family, her children, no matter what it was, 100% of Peggy's energy went into giving what she had to offer everyone else without looking for that in return. Peggy, what a wonderful person you are. We love you.
Okay, why don't you say really loud, I love you, Grandma. Real loud. Real loud.
Love you, Grandma.
Okay, blow her a kiss. Blow it. Good job.
I guess as the disease moves on, you would expect to say she's doing fine, but naturally not as well as maybe the last time you asked. But that's really not the response that comes about. The response is, Mom's doing great.
And she had a plaque made for me that had Isaiah on it, and that's always meant a great deal to me. And I think of her in that way, that no matter what happens with her MS, that she will rise up with wings like eagles.
I remember one of the honorees from the past who has MS, and Tom Andrews, I remember him saying that night, not to steal his thunder, but he said, I may have MS, but MS doesn't have me.
The YMCA Salute to Courage program is proud to honor a person of great courage, Peggy Plonka.